That happens to me too, but I feel like people strike onto the scene and then they go like, hey, while the iron's hot, I'm going to keep doing stuff. Because, hey, how long is this 15 minutes? And how do you know when you're oversaturating or you're like, fuck, I'm going to make this
you're
money?
Just getting work,
You can't blame somebody for becoming successful and thinking, everybody loves me, and you go as far as you can take it.
Sure.
Yeah. Will Ferrell was that for me. Like, too many movies
I got tired of him.
And
I like Will Ferrell, but I was hitting a point where it was like, I got to like take time away. But that's what happened with what you just said, Derek, about like, you buy into that and it's like, I'm doing what people want from me or whatever. Matt Stone and Trey Parker talk about that with Basketball. They're in that movie Basketball. And so a lot of people don't know to this day like that they did not write or direct or make that movie. It was just like, oh, hey, South Park's really big. You want to be in this comedy?
I thought that was like their breakout movie.
I did too for years. And they just did it because they were getting thrown, Hollywood. Like, you guys are big. Be in a Hollywood movie. Okay.
I mean, that's crazy for them,
Yeah.
Huge deal.
And then they were in like 8 things that they thought sucked, and they were like, how did this happen? And it's like, well, we're just doing what we thought the people wanted, so that happens. That does happen.
I loved Basketball when I was a kid, so.
I did. I just watched it recently.
Really?
Because it was.
Does it hold up?
Jenny McCarthy in that?
I mean,
Dude, Real Big Fish is
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Why do they get held up back when it came out?
No. I mean, I liked it for very specific reasons. It was just like, it was a very fuck it movie, so it was like,
Naked Gun, it was one of those.
Yeah, it was I mean, it's directed by, what's his name? David Zucker or whatever his name is. And but I was surprised and actually embarrassed. There were a couple things they say in that movie that I was like, I still say that all the time.
Oh, shit.
Like, I've been quoting Basketball for like, when he's about to, I think it's when he's going to cut his finger off and he goes, and he cuts his middle finger off or whatever. He's doing that the whole time, and I do that. I'll show you stuff, and I'll be like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, well, oh, that was from that? Like, I've been doing that for like 20 years. That's fucking gross.
Wow.
Would you say their best stuff? Because, like, aside from South Park, I'm a huge Orgasmo and Cannibal the Musical fan.
Yeah, I saw Cannibal recently, too. And
okay.
I mean, it's a student movie, but I love it.
But for their, like, first thing,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if the Hermaphrodites PSA they did for Troma was first. It might have been with Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
But that...
I don't believe I'm familiar with that work.
You haven't seen the... Oh, it's great. That PSA was like the first thing I ever saw, and then Romeo and Juliet Cannibal the Musical is probably my favorite, like, hands down thing, like, that they've ever done. I like Orgasmo, but Cannibal the Musical like peaks for me.
I loved, was it Team America? Like, I mean, I was
forget about that.
It came out, that was like the greatest thing in the world.
Isn't it funny? After Team America, those guys signed like a multi-picture deal with Paramount or whatever studio to do like, okay, like they were burnt, they were like dead after Team America because they were like doing a movie with puppets was so like unrewarding and difficult that it killed us. But like we have a deal now where we can do 2 or 3 movies of whatever they wanted. And they never did any of them. It never came out.
I mean,
is that the last they did?
They did Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And that
they shifted to that.
Like killed. Like that. I mean, that like did so well. They won all the Tonys. Like,
and I think they talk about Team America still like they still haven't seen $1 from it or something. Like they can't. Like the movie studio still says, "Oh yeah, never profited from that."
That's a shame.
You know, movie bookkeeping is such bullshit. But I think that's what happened there. Meanwhile, Book of Mormon, I think they said like, "Yeah, I think we've made more money doing this than anything we could possibly do." Like,
and they own the movie rights to it. They made like their own studio called Important Studios, just so they could keep the movie rights to it. And I think at the time it was like, we're gonna run this show as much as we could, and then down the line maybe. Make
oh, really?
They still hold the rights.
Because I've never tickets always seem expensive.
I've never seen
or
it.
rare.
I always miss
songs though.
You've already listened to songs?
I've listened to it. Yeah.
See, I won't do that. I feel like that's a spoiler for when.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I haven't listened to them.
I get that, but I was just like, oh, maybe it's on Apple Music. I'll check it out, and I listened to it.
Like, I mean, if you're into musical theater, that's what you do. You listen to the songs first.
And then you go see
That's
it?
what I kind of grew up with.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a good point because
Wow,
I avoided them too. I was like, I want to see it. I don't want it spoiled. But I'm thinking of like, when I first saw Rent, I had heard that soundtrack about 6,000 times.
And also, a lot of times the songs do a great job. They're there to tell a story.
Yeah.
Right. So like you get the story through that. So like it's
B Kareem in the chat says, I think musicals are fucking stupid. I just wanted to let everybody
nice.
know.
fair enough. Respect.
That is.
You got called
I
out,
think it's
dog.
fucked up.
person's
Derek
opinion out
stole
there.
that joke from the chat. Shame on everyone.
Calling him out.
But the songs to that musical are so catchy that like I listened to this like years ago and it's still stuck in my head. But there was a couple that's like, man, this is fucking crazy what they're saying in these songs. Like I can't believe this is doing so well because they did not hold back at all. Jesus.
Well, a lot of musicals from the past were crazy for their time.
Yeah.
They were always like, kind of provocative.
Yeah.
I guess not always.
Yeah.
Cabaret, even Rent.
Even Damn Yankees. It was like they say damn. I mean back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of like pushing the envelope a little bit. Some of the songs in it,
Pippin,
especially.
Pippin was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drug
I guess
trip,
because it is.
Suicide show.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Well,
yeah.
listen to the
Hedwig
music.
the Angry Inch,
Yep.
crazy.
Crazy.
Susicle.
You'll know what song I'm talking
Fucking
about.
nuts.
I'm pretty sure.
You know what happens to Captain
Well-
Hat. Favorite musical. What is your favorite musical? Do you
Rocky
have
Horror
one?
Picture Show.
That's
Wow.
a great one.
Had that ready to go.
Yep. Can't beat it.
Oh.
I mean, I really
I got
like
some
the South Park
backups.
movie.
I like.
Yeah,
really
South
like-
Park
I
movie.
really
that
love
is a
that
musical.
movie.
I would count it.
I'm corny. I like Guys and Dolls.
I love
I
that
was
movie,
gonna say
too.
I might go Guys and Dolls. When it comes to musicals, I like corny.
Yeah.
You know, I like corny fun stuff.
But I also
so.
think like I had a life-changing like thing by doing that. Like in that play, that was like that changed everything for me.
Which one for you?
When we did Damn Yankees. Is it Damn Yankees or Guys and Dolls?
He said Guys and Dolls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
said Guys and Dolls.
Well, I'm thinking Damn Yankees, but that
I-
like changed
yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah.
Like doing that.
I
So
like
I think
Damn
I have a
Yankees,
soft
too.
spot personally for Damn
Yeah,
Yankees.
you guys were in musicals, so you kind of have a different perspective than
Yeah.
any of us.
Yeah. But Guys and Dolls is great too.
Guys and Dolls, I think might be mine.
Yeah. Well, good show, guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Tight
Are you calling
hour.
curtains. Is that the term?
Perfect.
There you go.
Look at that. Right on time.
Curtain Call.
You made it happen, Sean.
Thank you.
They made a musical out of American Psycho. Somebody.
Yeah, it closed pretty fast to
Oh,
the
really?
point where they were trying to get college students to come in and be seat fillers.
Oh, God.
I like what it looked cool. Like, I'm a huge Brady Snells fan, and like it looks cool. But yeah, it only opened like I think off Broadway, and just it closed pretty fast.
Like that
yeah.
Evil Dead musical was going for
There's
a
always
while.
gimmick musicals. There's a
Spider-Man
Potter.
musical.
That's
classic.
what I was going to bring up. Was
Spider-Man?
I would kill to have been in there for
Was
the
that
Spider-Man musical.
You two doing the music?
Yeah.
What was
the
the
time?
musical Green Day did the music for?
American Idiot.
American Idiot.
Oh, it was for their musical.
Yeah.
That didn't last long
I
at
think
all,
is it
huh?
still going? I have no idea.
There's
don't
no
know.
fucking way.
But the Spider-Man one was such an unmitigated disaster that it kills me I wasn't there. I wish I could have seen that. I wish I could have been there opening night to see that just all collapse.
Collapse. Yeah.
That kills me. That's my brand.
That's your brand.
Like
On
theater,
brand
like
for Rocco.
Rocco
theater
likes cringe
disaster
worthy,
where no one knows what
you
to
know.
do. Oh.
Yeah.
When an actor falls into the audience and injures people in the second row, that's the level of cringe Rocco really deems as
Strives
Dangerous
for.
theater.
quality
I
content.
remember being at some of the plays we did in high school where like someone missed their cue and no one
Oh.
on stage knew what to do. And I would be like, I would feel so bad for them. And at the same time, I was like, fuck, I love this.
Yeah.
No one in this room knows what's next. I love it. I love that energy.
That sums
Like,
Rocco
what do we
so
do?
perfectly.
You can feel that.
Yeah.
You can feel that when you just like. I
Yeah.
remember being on stage when that happened, and like all the hair in the back of my neck just stood up. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we going to do?
High stakes.
I remember that happened to me once, and I think it was it Guys Adult? No, I was in like Annie Get Your Gun in community theater, and someone didn't show up,
Oh,
and we were on stage for a while. But I took the time. I love it. I if I can, as long as I can come up with a fucking idea.
Right.
I was and so yeah, there was some stunt in there where there was whipped cream, like shaving cream or something. Somebody got hit with a pie at some point in the show, and it was still on the ground. So I just no one knew what to do, and whoever was in the next scene hasn't showed up yet. So I think if I remember correctly, everyone was standing around, and then I walked. Well, I guess I'll be going, and I purposely walked through the pie because I thought physical comedy, whatever.
Right.
And I walked through the pie, and I went, "You guys have a dog in here? What is that?" Like I made some joke about that, and then that bought enough time that they
They
Nice.
got out.
So I made a dog shit joke.
Show must go on, though.
Classic
Classic.
Rocco.
Thinking on his
Well,
feet, not
shit,
stinking.
yeah.
I saw you in Annie Get Your Gun. That was the only time I saw Annie Get Your Gun.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a good show. Weren't you also in Singing in the Rain? Or
yes.
Oh, okay.
They had me play a manager or producer or whatever in Annie Get Your Gun, and I talked like this, and I just kept doing that, and they enjoyed that so much that they cast me in Singing in the Rain, and they were like, "Can you just do that again?" I was like, I guess I'm that guy. Yeah.
Typecast.
I was only in like the last part of the show, so I would like show up and like play Game Boy Advance for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then go out on stage and, all right, we got you greased up and ready to go. You're right. And that was it. And then I go
When
home.
I was a child, I did children's community theater, and I was cast in The Secret Garden, and they cast me as, I don't even remember the story of The Secret Garden, but I played an Indian servant who dies in a fire in like the first scene.
Oh, cool.
Oh, man.
So I show up, I'm on stage for 5 minutes, and then, fire! I think all the children become orphans or something. That's why they have to move to where the Secret Garden is. So I'm on stage for 5 minutes, and then it'd be 2 hours of just hanging out backstage, playing with my friends.
Nice.
Do, like G.I. Joes and aliens, run around backstage and shit.
Hell yeah.
It's weird when you're in a show and you have like essentially nothing to do for 90% of the show.
Yeah.
fun, right?
That community theater thing that I was in, they wanted me in the opening number because they were like, we got all hands on deck for that. We want it to be an amazing opening number. And then, and they were like, Rocco, it must have been a poor cast because they said I could dance better than the people in that side of the stage. And it's like, well, if I'm your best hope, then. But I think it was in a lot of older people in the cast, and they wanted me up front for the opening dance number. And then my scene was the next scene where the producer would come in and talk, and it's like 2 different outfits. So they were like, well, we'll cover you with a cape and a hat, and then just leave. And I'm like, I leave on that side, but my next scene starts from the other side. And they were like, yeah, just run around the hill. Cause you remember these were on the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
These were in an amphitheater at the top of
a hill.
of a mountain in San Diego. And so they were like, yeah, just run along the hillside behind the theater.
Oh my God.
And go to the other side. And I did it one night. And it was like, this shit is fucking steep. Like they wanted me to just like hug the hillside to get to the other side. And there was
know who they were dealing with.
the woman there was a woman that was in the same boat. Like she was my wife in the scene or whatever. And we went and she's like, oh, it's real easy. Just do this and that. And she was like a climber. She was like going across like to the other side. And I just stood there with my cane and cape. And I was like, I'm not even going to attempt it. And she was like, you're not even going to try? I'm like, fuck no, not at all. And so I walked off of that number and I just went all the way around. I like left the theater, went out the exit. I mean, I went the longest way, and I think I was like way late for my cue or something. Or something like that. I don't remember, but I just remember everyone was mad at me that night. And I was like, yeah, you wanted me to climb a hill. Like that's not on the cards.
It's not on my contract.
Yeah, it was. So I never did that opening number again. I just stopped going to that. Anyway, sorry, we're over.
Yeah.